beautiful souls, and welcome to another video, another podcast episode about deeper human connection. If you haven't seen my previous episodes, please check them out. This one is already episode number 15 in my podcasts, but it's video number, I believe, 4 for deeper human connection. So please check out other previous 3 videos that talk about deeper human connection. And if you are new subscribers or new listeners, please subscribe, of course, so you can receive all the updates that I post on my channel. And thank you for tuning in, and thank you for joining me, and thank you for becoming my fellow deeper human connector, because that's so important nowadays, is to stay connected to ourselves on a deeper level and connecting to similar-minded and heart-minded individuals. That being said, I want to discuss during this video another aspect that truly can help us to extend our energy, extend our connection to another human being. Of course, I've mentioned in previous videos, it's so important to be able to establish first that deeper connection to ourselves, and then that extends to the deeper connection to another human being, because ultimately nothing can be on any level extended to another person if that's not developed within us. So first, I guess, ask yourself, have you extended that deeper connection to yourself here and now? Have you explored aspects within yourself that, in fact, even I've discussed in previous couple of videos? And only from that point you can extend that energy from within to another human being and establish that deeper connection. So today I am inspired to talk about deep, true authenticity. What is authenticity, right? I know in the past I've had a couple of moments with people that actually get a little annoyed about the concept of authenticity, and they feel like everything is authentic, everything at certain point is authentic. Of course, there is something to it. I'm not going to reject anybody's opinion, views, conversation about what they think authenticity is, and whether it is truly present within us, and whether we live in authentic self or not. I disagree with that point, that everything is authentic at a certain point. I strongly disagree, because a lot of us live in self-deception for many years, if not all our life. So self-deception is something that is not authentic. So first, I would like to dive into what authenticity is, and then I'll dive into some sub-key categories of that aspect. Authenticity. So, of course, authenticity, it's when you are staying true to who you are, right? But first, you have to identify what is true to you, right? So authenticity is when when a person lives in kind of a mature psychological state of being with himself or with relationship to others. Authenticity is when person functions in non-defensive way, where we don't have to defend our opinion, our state of being, our choices to another. We choose it, we anchored in it, and we don't have to defend ourselves, our lifestyle, when it's being questioned by another person or attacked. So we are fully in non-defensive state. Another aspect about authenticity is when a person lives in non-deceptive way. And I will dive into it a little bit more in a bit, because it's a complex aspect. So where we don't deceive, we are not in a state of deception toward oneself, and also when we are passionate about who we are, how we live our life, and how we approach everything and anyone that comes into the contact with us. So, summary, authenticity, it's when we live in a state where we passionate about our life, determined, passionate about how we want to create our life, how we want to be, live, express ourselves in this life. And while we're doing that, we don't have to defend it to anyone. We solidly embody it into that energy of self-understanding, self-value, trust, respect, and love. And when we perceive our life level in a way where it's not imaginative life, we solidly walking the path without illusions, disillusions and illusions. So it's a very practical approach to life. Of course, manifestation always plays a role, and it requires some fantasy. I'm all about that. But it's a practical life, and I guess it's life that is embedded in the practical steps, where we understand our role in this life and we follow it through, where we don't have to defend oneself against the world, and we are passionate about it, we embody it in it. So to me, this is what authenticity is. These are the qualities of authenticity and how to function in this authentic way, where we don't have to change faces in different environments. For example, at work, you are showing one face, at home, you're showing another face, but in reality, with yourself, you're completely somebody else. So this is a big no to authenticity. You are yourself in every situation of your life. Of course, there are elements that can shift certain things within you when you communicate with one group or another, but overall, you're staying solidly authentic into who you are. And for that, we must know who we are. So to me, this is what authenticity is, and that's exactly what takes us to those people that also embodied in that authenticity within themselves. So next step I want to jump into is chatting about what is self-deception, because sometimes we don't even understand that we are in a role of self-deception, and we continue on kind of moving through life, not realizing that we are practically lying to ourselves consistently and being not our authentic self. So let's jump into that point. To help us to brainstorm about self-deception, because majority of us probably at one point have been in situation or lifestyle where we're very much in self-deception. I've been there, and it's a loop. It's a loop where you cannot, you're struggling to get out. I mean, I've attracted so many different connections, romantic or not, with men or friends, where it was false because it was based on my self-deception. I pretty much was covering my own lies with excuses and kind of closing my eyes on characteristics that I've been attracting, and definitely learning curve for me. And now I am well seasoned to see those characteristics in others, and certainly if I come across of self deception in my own life, I definitely approach that right away, even though not as much anymore, because to me it's just already an old way of being for me. So what is self-deception? If you want to kind of look at your life and see if maybe it's present within you, there are a couple of points I prepared to kind of for you to identify if you experience this in your life. So if you are in self-deceptive state of being, you typically feel stuck. You typically cannot get out of certain circumstances, a cycle in life, or relationships, or work situations, or pretty much the way you think. Anything in your life, you just feel stuck. Also, you are focused typically only on your perspective. You are not open to other people's point of views. It doesn't mean you have to take them as your own, but you are consistently denying other people in their perception. You are resistant to, of course, alternate viewpoints. You are not interested in learning about other people. And that's a very interesting point, because self-deception, you create this little bubble without even realizing that you're creating it sometimes, but you create in this bubble where you know, this is my world, this is how I operate, this is my four walls, and I'm not interested in kind of bursting this bubble where I am stepping toward another person's point of view, perspective, and them to learn something new, expand the horizon, right? And in that, you ultimately learning more about yourself and how you can live life differently, right? And then you decide what resonates with you properly. So, and maybe sometimes you feel like you have to put up with other people, like you are not open to deal with other people when you are in a self-deceptive way. Also, you lack desire to help other people. You are definitely victimizing other people. You're pointing fingers. You're finding kind of faults in other people instead of looking into yourself and identifying where maybe you are not very accommodative or open toward others, and maybe where you need to look into yourself and understand what maybe needs to change within you, then needs to change within other people. Of course, criticizing and blaming others, you are trying to control another person or someone, to kind of manipulate them into for them to see your point of view instead of them sticking to what they feel is right for themselves. And sometimes perhaps you are even withholding information from another person. So these are kind of characteristics that I've noticed when we're in self-deceptive mode. We are pretty much, in simple English language, lying to ourselves, willingly lying to ourselves, and not willing to see our situation from a different point of view. We are crossing out everything else that is outside of us, and we create this bubble where we only think that this is how it needs to be. There's a lot of disillusion that is part of self-deception. So when we are in a self-deceptive way, we definitely not able to be authentic. We simply haven't understood yet what authenticity is. So if you are interested in creating deeper human connection with others, you certainly need to figure out how to be authentic within yourself, and what authenticity is for you. What I've presented today is what I've noticed authenticity is. I think it's definitely a path. Of course, for some people it's easier, for some people it's harder, but the way we all typically grow up, where others give us roles to play and we don't have enough knowledge, understanding to know that we must carve our path forward. We only need that support on physical level from our parents or caregivers, but the rest is up to us. We cannot be diminished into the roles that the world wants for us, not we want for ourselves. And after that, it takes years to uncover who we are. And of course, that's why we move through life without really being able to create those true, authentic connections, partnerships, relationships, business partnerships in our life, because we are not operating on that level within ourselves. So authenticity, huge point for us to be able to create the authentic way of connecting to others on a deeper level, because this is how we can move forward, creating that authenticity in our world as we create our new way of being, new world, new humankind. And I welcome you to explore how you operate on the core level of you being authentic with yourself and others, and whether or not you move through life in self-deceptive way. And when you understand that, it will be much easier to start connecting with those that are true to you, that are true to your heart, true to your mind, to your integrity. And this way you don't waste your time and energy on very much relationships that are unbalanced, that in relationships where you give more and receive less, or the other way around. And everyone has to hold their ground. They have to hold themselves properly for you to be connected with them on that level as well. So we're pretty much stepping out of partnerships and relationships where they are dependent. If you feel heavy in somebody else's energy, it's a dependent relationship or partnership. It has to be equal in that level, where every individual hold their own, and there is a receptivity that's happening. There is a natural communication that happens where people don't expect something to receive without even giving back. So, or the other way around. I think it's time for us to stop feeding off each other, stop feeding off each other's energy. It needs to be beautiful collaboration where one adds value to another, and when another adds value to the person who's giving that value back. So it needs to be mutual collaboration, mutual adding values to one another, where it's beautiful. And I'm not talking about personal relationships in a sense, one person playing masculine role, for example, and another person is more playing feminine role. This is definitely a different aspect. I'm not diving into like roles in personal relationships. That's individuals to decide, but I'm talking about just all connections that we have here. Receptivity has to be present and exchange has to be present. So we both or more than two people feel that we're equally giving into this connection, equally investing in this collaboration, and not like for example, I disagree in an aspect where people go to work, check in, sit there for 8 hours or 9 hours and still get paid. For me, sure, manifest that if you want. But for me, that means you are so dead, so stagnant in your energy, where you come to this establishment, you waste your energy just sitting there, drawing, and you get paid. Instead, find what you love doing, give it, and receive back. You establish the project, you give your energy into it, you create something beautiful for the world and yourself, and receive back, instead of this dead energy where somebody is giving you money for you not doing anything. This is just an example. Money, fruits, vegetables, whatever the exchange is, or another way of service, and you absolutely don't give properly. The energy is lacking. Stagnation is present. Instead of you get what you give. And of course, smart way of being is the best way of being. And smart way comes from the higher intelligence. And when we start moving through life like that, take, give, give, take, balanced way, exchanged way, we start operating healthy. We start connecting to people in a healthy way, instead of a narcissistic way, or victimization way, or hierarchy way, right? Like all of those disbalanced way of being is just such an old energy, and we are dropping that right now on this earth. It's still present, but if you find yourself operating on that level, I welcome you to explore it. Why are you still in that energy? What are you receiving from that energy? What are you not willing to admit to yourself? And why are you still grabbing on to that energy? Because that is self-deception. That is not authentic way of being, in my view. Of course, we all have phases in life. Of course, we get to certain aspects at our own time. So if you find yourself in that way, don't be harsh toward yourself. Just start becoming honest more and more, and understand, where am I lying to myself, where I'm creating excuses for myself, and why am I doing this? Why am I still blocking myself from flowering? Why am I still not willing to see it and step forward to prosperity, to true prosperity and abundance, where you live without perpetuating the cycle of suffering? Why do you still need to be in that victimization role, and or perhaps victimizing others? So I probably should close this video on that note. I am welcoming you to explore your authenticity deeper and deeper and deeper. So this way you start connecting on a deeper level to people that are also operating on level of authenticity and not self-deception. Please check out my previous videos that I talked about in the past. They're also on my channel. If you are a new listener, please subscribe, like, share the videos so others can see them. I will do my best continuing these videos. I'm also posting a couple of random interesting videos. I have a short series where I present 5 magic tools that help me to move through life changes. I'm a person of change. I've gone through thousands, if not millions of changes in my life. I'm still going through them, and the tools that I share with everyone is what I actually utilize and that helped me and still do. So please check them out. And also, if you wish to connect to me on Sundays, I run Open Heart Circle on Sundays. They're at 10 a.m. Eastern time. I am still on across the world. I probably will be here for a little bit, visiting my parents and exploring life on this side. I'm actually in Russia right now, in Siberia, in I'm southern western side of Siberia. It's still very beautiful here, green and still warm, but probably in about a month we'll start having fall happening here. It's going to be so beautiful. So check out the links below. I am hosting Sunday tea time at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So, and if you wish, connect to my retreat, link below, in Costa Rica. It's happening in April. Otherwise, I wish you a beautiful day. Enjoy yourself, create your life forward. We are living in times that never has happened on this planet. I welcome you to dive into your authenticity, because right now is the best time to do that, because we are creating path forward that many of us been dreaming about for years, and now it's happening. Now it's time for us to step forward in our full, authentic, beautiful self and keep on creating those deep human connections, so we can link each other around the world and keep on moving forward, creating this new frequency that is been happening here. No more of suffering, no more. I love you all. I send you blessings from my heart to yours, and thank you for listening, and see you next time. Much love.